Gemini, happy birthday. It is Gemini season. Yay! Welcome to your hopes, fears, and reality spread. As per usual, you can click right on that description box below, and it will talk about the significance of the spread as well as the placement of each card. The playlists are organized by astrological sign with the most recent read moving backward, but I do not upload last week's reading until I'm to the playlist until I'm done uploading this week's reading to YouTube. So late Friday afternoon, that will be done, corrected, and everything will be available. Oh, Gemini. Sleepless nights, huh? Yeah, I can see that. Gemini, you are hoping to drop your poker face and stop keeping secrets. Stop holding back. Stop beckoning for somebody to come to you. You are hoping that somebody will see your vulnerable side, your tender side, your soft side, and that they'll want that in their lives. And that they'll beckon you in for a change. That's what you're hoping for. You're hoping to drop the hard exterior and hoping that if somebody sees your vulnerable side, they'll invite you in. Unfortunately, that same feeling scares the bejesus out of you. My lord, look at this. So we reference the Nine of Swords as the dark night of the soul. This is the type of stress and anxiety that keeps you up at night. These are the fears creeping in. This is, when they talk about that negative mindset affecting you, that's exactly what this card represents. All those negative thoughts, all that being trapped in your head, all that going over the shoulda, coulda, woulda, anxiety, stress, sleepless nights. And you fear this tower moment coming in. Now, this is fear. This doesn't mean the tower moment came in. This is what you fear. You fear somebody pulling the rug out from under you, and that everything you've tried and worked for and built was not on a solid foundation, and it will all come tumbling down. You fear the fear of all fears, like the bottom's just going to drop out. This is anxiety. This is loss of control, which, by the way, that's where all anxiety comes from, is the loss of control of a situation. So yeah, you fear that somebody will see your vulnerable side, but you don't want it to be so vulnerable that you're completely dependent on somebody else. Okay? So it's hard for you to expose that vulnerable side because of your fears. Gemini, this is not an easy read. It's your birthday season. You're supposed to get a good read. What are you guys doing? You're agonizing over the lack of control. That's what you're doing. You might be in more control of this situation than you believe. And here we have the Five of Swords. So the fives are about chaos and conflict. And chaos and conflict come into our life for a reason, okay? First off, there's no growth without discomfort. So the first thing that this does is it makes us uncomfortable. But this particular one, this is the Five of Swords, and it's about intellect. In some cases, this is also about keeping score, okay? Then you have this Knight of Cups in the inverse here. The Knight of Cups is a knight who comes forward with an offer, usually an extension of friendship, sometimes an offer of resources, but most often a little bit of love, and it's in the inverse. So you feel the reality of the situation is you've been keeping score and you feel like you've offered enough. So now you're a little defensive because of your fear, but you are hoping that the other person will just, boom, know that you're really beckoning them in, that you need them more than anything. This could be about a romantic relationship, and it very much sounds like it for most people. However, It could also be about a close friendship or a family member. Okay? But the thing about it is, you are hoping to drop your poker face so that person sees your vulnerable side. That's just your perception. It's not what your actions are doing. You're not actually exposing that vulnerable side. You're putting up a front, Gemini. And this front that you're putting up is because of your anxiety about not being able to control the situation. But the reality is, you put forth action and effort in the past, and you feel that the other person should meet you in the middle. You're like, I did all this, and now I'm waiting for you to meet me here. Whew. So we have the Knight of Swords and the Nine of Cups. So, in all honesty, despite this person's attention, everything else in your life is great. And you're moving forward. But right now, you're moving forward hoping that this person will see you and join you on that path. But if they don't join you, you're still in this energy of moving forward. And eventually, what'll happen is you'll get so far ahead that this person won't be able to catch up. But somewhere deep inside, you know you'll be just fine. So Gemini, you are bidding for somebody's attention silently, but you are not opening your mouth because you feel like you've said enough and you've done enough. Now you're basically waiting for a response. But something deep inside, there's this knowing that whether this person comes to you or whether they don't, you'll be just fine. However, late at night, when you're all up in your head, those fears creep in. And that's what I want to address here. Because sometimes we fear something so much, it becomes our reality. So, there's our area of control, Gemini. There's our area of influence. There's our area of concern. We don't have control over anything in our area of concern, so we should actually just drop that and focus on everything else. Our area of influence doesn't mean our area of persuasion. That's not the platform in which we convince people to do what we want. That's the platform in which we can express our ideas through words and actions. Okay. Then whatever happens once that's done, it either comes into our area of control or it falls into that everything else category. So if you've done everything in your area of influence that you could do, then yeah, move forward. If you haven't done everything that you feel you can do, that's where that fear creeps in. So you just have to make the decision. Have you done everything you can do? This is a complicated reading, Gemini. This is very, very tough. Because I see that you took actions in the past. And I see you tallying and counting and wanting to have some sort of control over it, but ultimately knowing that you don't. Between these two cards and these two cards, it shows that you've accepted that you don't have the control. But where you're going back and forth between confidence and anxiety is within your area of influence, the platform in which you can be heard by other people. Now, again, it's not your area of persuasion. It doesn't mean that you can change their mind. It's just the platform on which you can take action or say words in order to be heard and seen. Whew. My advice would be, or if this was me, all right, and we'll just leave it at that. If this is me, I would stop taking score. I wouldn't count my chickens. I would try and embrace this I'm going to be okay no matter what happens energy. But I understand, Gemini, that that's way easier said than done. You have a lot to think about. but it's how you think about it. It's the way you're going about it. Are you really focusing on a fantasy? Are you more in love with an idea than reality? That's what you have to look at. And what is your area of influence? Because that's the area that you're working in right now. Gemini, I hope you found a message that serves your highest good, and I will see you next week.